January 1997. The red dust of Angola covered her white shirt. Princess Diana was walking through a minefield, literally. One wrong step could cost her life. But what was truly shocking wasn't the danger she faced. It was why she chose to walk this deadly path. The world knew her as the People's Princess, the woman who touched AIDS patients without gloves, the royal who knelt down to speak with homeless children. But on this scorching African afternoon, Diana Spencer was about to do something that would shake governments, anger politicians, and change the course of history. She was about to walk into a minefield wearing nothing but a protective vest and a determined smile. 4 months before this moment, Diana had received a call. It was from the International Red Cross. "Princess Diana, we need your help. There are millions of landmines scattered across Angola. Children are losing their limbs. Families are losing their futures. Will you come?" Without hesitation, Diana said yes. Her advisors were horrified. "Your Royal Highness, this is dangerous. This is political. The British government sells landmines. You'll create a diplomatic crisis." Diana looked at them calmly and said, "Good. That's exactly what I intend to do." The flight to Angola was long. Diana sat in her seat reading reports, statistics that made her stomach turn. Every 20 minutes, someone in the world stepped on a landmine. Most of them were children, playing in fields that should have been safe, walking to school on paths that should have been clear. The weapons had been left behind by wars that ended years ago, but the killing continued, silent, invisible, relentless. Diana closed the folder. Her assistant noticed tears in her eyes. "Are you all right, Mom?" Diana nodded. "I'm fine, I'm just angry. Very angry." The assistant had worked with Diana for years. She had seen her sad. She had seen her hurt. But this anger was different. This was righteous fury. This was Diana at her most dangerous. When the plane landed in Luanda, the capital of Angola, the heat hit Diana like a wall. But she didn't complain. She had come here to work. The Red Cross workers greeted her with respect and gratitude. "Thank you for coming, Princess. Your presence means everything." Diana shook her head. "Don't thank me yet. Show me. Show me what these weapons have done." The first hospital visit changed everything. Diana walked into a ward filled with children. But these weren't like the children she visited in London hospitals. These children had no legs, no arms. One wrong step while playing, one moment of curiosity about a strange object in the grass, and their lives were destroyed forever. Diana knelt beside a young girl named Sandra. She was 13 years old. She had lost both legs when she stepped on a mine while walking to fetch water. Sandra's eyes were empty, the kind of emptiness that comes not from physical pain but from dreams dying. Diana held her hand. "Tell me about yourself, Sandra. What do you want to be when you grow up?" Sandra looked confused. No one had asked her that since the accident. Everyone assumed her life was over. "I wanted to be a teacher," she whispered. Diana squeezed her hand tighter. "You still can be. You absolutely still can be." Sandra's eyes filled with tears. "But how? I can't even walk." Diana leaned closer. "Your mind is intact. Your heart is intact. Your spirit is intact. Those mines took your legs. Don't let them take your future." The photographers captured this moment. Diana kneeling on the hospital floor, holding a maimed child's hand. The image would soon travel around the world. But Diana wasn't thinking about cameras. She was thinking about justice. The next day came the walk that would define Diana's legacy. The minefield in Huambo. The Red Cross had cleared a path, marked it with white tape. But on either side of that narrow path, death waited. Buried just beneath the surface, patient, eternal, Diana was given a protective vest. It looked like something from a science fiction movie. Heavy, awkward, hot under the African sun. The Red Cross worker explained, "This will protect your vital organs if you step on a mine. But your legs, your arms..." Diana interrupted him. "I understand. Let's go." The walk began, each step careful, deliberate. The cameras followed at a distance. Every journalist there knew they were watching history. Diana walked slowly, not from fear but from respect. Every metre of this path represented someone's tragedy. Every cleared mine represented a life saved or a life lost. Halfway through the walk, Diana stopped. She looked around at the vast fields stretching in every direction. All of this, all of it, the guide confirmed. Millions of mines. It would take decades to clear them all. Decades of funding. Decades of work. Diana's jaw tightened. But the moment that shocked the world came next. Diana saw a sign marking a recently cleared area. She asked, "Is it safe there?" The Red Cross worker nodded. "Then we better start now." But the moment that shocked the world came next. Diana saw a sign marking a recently cleared area. She asked, "Is it safe there?" The Red Cross worker nodded. "Yes, Princess, we cleared it yesterday." Diana walked off the protected path. Her security team panicked. "Your Royal Highness, please." Diana ignored them. She walked into the cleared field and knelt down. She touched the red earth with her bare hands. "This soil was soaked with blood," she said quietly. "Now it should grow food. It should grow flowers. It should grow hope." The photographs of Diana in the minefield became iconic. A woman in white, surrounded by danger, refusing to look away. The images appeared on every front page, every news broadcast. Diana had done what she intended. She had made the invisible visible. She had forced the world to pay attention. The British government was furious. Conservative politicians accused Diana of meddling in politics. One government minister called her a loose cannon. Another suggested she was naive and didn't understand the complexities of defence policy. Diana's response was devastating. She gave an interview. "I'm not a political figure," she said calmly. "I'm a humanitarian. And there's nothing political about not wanting children to be blown up." The interview went viral, as we would say today. Diana had outmaneuvered her critics. She hadn't attacked the government. She had simply stated an obvious moral truth. And in doing so, she had made anyone who opposed her look heartless. Behind the scenes, Diana was even more determined. She met with diplomats. She met with military experts. She met with survivors. She learned everything she could about landmines. The technology, the economics, the politics. Diana was no longer just a princess bringing attention to a cause. She was becoming an expert, a formidable advocate, a real threat to the status quo. 6 months after Diana's Angola visit, she went even further. She travelled to Bosnia, another country devastated by hidden weapons, another landscape where children couldn't play safely. The pattern repeated. Diana visiting hospitals, Diana meeting amputees, Diana walking through danger zones. But this time she was more vocal, more angry, more willing to name names. During the Bosnia trip, Diana met a young boy named Mirsad. He had lost his leg and his best friend in the same explosion. They were playing football, just playing football. Diana asked him, "What do you want people to know?" Mirsad looked directly at the camera and said, "Tell them we're just kids. We just want to play." Diana turned to the journalists. You heard him. Tell them. The pressure was building. The international campaign to ban landmines was gaining momentum. Diana had given them something invaluable: celebrity, attention, moral authority. The campaign organizers later said, Diana didn't just support our cause, she became our cause. When she spoke, the world listened. August 1997. Diana was planning her next trip. She was going to return to Angola to see if progress had been made, to push harder for change, but fate had other plans. On August 31st, Diana died in a car crash in Paris. The world went into mourning, and many people feared that the landmine campaign would die with her. But something unexpected happened. Diana's death didn't end the campaign, it accelerated it. The grief and love that millions felt for Diana transformed into action. People demanded that governments honor her memory by banning these weapons. Politicians who had criticized Diana suddenly found themselves defending her legacy. The moral pressure became unbearable. In December 1997, just 4 months after Diana's death, the Mine Ban Treaty was signed in Ottawa. 122 countries agreed to ban the production, use, and stockpiling of anti-personnel landmines. The treaty was nicknamed the Diana Treaty. The international campaign to ban landmines won the Nobel Peace Prize. In their acceptance speech, they dedicated the award to Diana Spencer. But the story doesn't end there. The real shock came in the years that followed. The treaty worked, landmine casualties dropped by 80%, millions of mines were cleared. Countries that had been paralyzed by fear began to rebuild. Children could play again. Farmers could farm again. Life could return to places where death had reigned. In Angola, the country Diana visited, the impact was profound. By 2020, most of the minefields had been cleared. The red earth that Diana touched now grows crops. Schools have been built where danger once lurked. And in the capital, Luanda, there's a statue. It shows Diana kneeling beside a child. The inscription reads, "She walked through our minefields so we could walk freely." Sandra, the young girl Diana met in that hospital, did become a teacher. She teaches in a school built on land that was once a minefield. She uses prosthetic legs to walk to work every day. And she tells her students about the day a princess knelt beside her hospital bed and refused to let her give up. Today in 2025, the campaign continues. There are still millions of mines in the ground, still countries that haven't signed the treaty, still children losing limbs. But the progress is undeniable. And it all traces back to that moment in January 1997, when Diana Spencer decided to walk into a minefield. Her critics said she was naive. They said she didn't understand the complexities of international politics. They said she was just a celebrity seeking attention. They were wrong. Diana understood something they didn't. She understood that sometimes the most political act is simply to care, to show up, to refuse to look away. The red dust of Angola covered her white shirt, but Diana didn't care about her appearance that day. She cared about justice. She cared about children who deserved to play without fear. She cared about families who deserved to farm their land without terror. And she was willing to risk everything to make people pay attention. Do you want to know what real courage looks like? It looks like a woman in a protective vest, walking through a minefield, forcing the world to confront an uncomfortable truth. It looks like someone using their privilege not for comfort, but for justice. It looks like Diana Spencer on that scorching afternoon in Angola. taking one careful step after another, knowing that each step brought her closer to danger and closer to making a difference. Here's the question Diana's legacy asks us. What are you willing to risk for what you believe in? What danger are you willing to face to protect those who can't protect themselves? Diana could have stayed safe. She could have stuck to ribbon-cutting ceremonies and charity galas. Instead, she chose to walk into a minefield, literally and metaphorically. The landmines that killed and maimed millions were always political. The companies that manufactured them, the governments that deployed them, the militaries that used them, all political. But Diana's response was human, and in the end, humanity won. From Diana's diary, written the night after her minefield walk, "Today I walked through death to reach life. I saw the worst of what humans can do to each other, weapons designed to maim children. But I also saw the best, the doctors who heal without payment, the workers who clear mines without recognition, the children who smile despite everything. I'm exhausted, I'm sunburned, I'm probably going to be in trouble with the government, and I've never felt more certain that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." The camera captured Diana's final moment in Angola. She's standing at the airport, about to board her flight home. A group of children runs towards her, children who can run because the mines have been cleared from their neighborhood. Diana kneels down and they surround her, hugging her, thanking her. One child gives her a drawing. It shows a stick figure in a white shirt. Above it, the child has written in broken English, "The princess who was not afraid." Diana folded that drawing carefully and put it in her pocket. She carried it with her until the day she died.